backup, right? So my appointment rescheduled via text message, and he just said the word no. He was pretty excited about that. He said no, I'm like, question mark, and never got anything back. So I said, well, let's go here and meet some people. And one of the people that I met was a Primerica agent that had set up a booth herself. And it was really interesting. I'm going around, I'm looking at all the different business models that everybody has, and you really kind of wonder what they think they're going to do with this. Building like a really cheap birdhouse and trying to sell it, like, I'm going to make it big with this, right? And yeah, I mean, and then I run into the Primerica agent, and she didn't have anything that said Primerica visible. There's a bunch of like secret agent sort of stuff, right? It's like entrepreneurs wanted, financial services industry, right? So I come up to the booth and I start talking to her for a few minutes.
What were you wearing Primerica?
I don't think I was wearing anything that said Primerica, but I was wearing a pretty big ring on my hand. And so I said, oh, okay, this is pretty interesting. Well, what is it that you got going on here? Well, it's a financial services industry. I'm like, really? Very cool. And I can see that there's a pamphlet that's turned upside down, right? So it's like, it's got like the logo probably about a third this size at the very bottom of the pamphlet. So I knew she was Primerica for sure. But what struck me as interesting with this person was, one, she's a secret agent. Two, she was not well put together. She was, you know, these people, they're like, PFS investments. Be proud of what you do. Don't be, that's ridiculous, right? Why would I want to follow you if you're trying to hide what you do, right? Yeah. So she's sitting there and her hair's messed up and she's not making eye contact, and I'm purposely like putting my hand in front of her, and she's not even noticing it, right? And I got to thinking about this, and I'm there to meet business owners. She's sitting in her booth, hoping that somebody comes up and just joins her. Like, yeah, let me join your army here. No, you got to go out and hunt that. It doesn't work the other way. People aren't coming to you. I don't know if anybody's noticed that yet. So it got me thinking about when I was in police work. And this morning I really started thinking about the cross-section and how similar it was. So when I started in the police department, the way it works, you get out of the academy and generally you're assigned to a field training officer. So you're licensed, you have the MCOL certification to be a police officer, but you don't know what you're doing. So you got to go through different phases to learn, right? And you're usually doing that on patrol. So you're wearing a uniform, you're going to police runs, and you're being called to the scene. So you go to the scene and you got to handle it. And usually you don't know what you're doing. You feel like a real idiot when you're doing it at the beginning because they're asking you questions. You don't know what to do. You feel unsafe because you don't know how to protect yourself, even though they taught you these defensive tactics. All of a sudden, you're handling real people here, right? And so at some point you get pretty good and you start running your own car. And then at some point you start working with newer people, right? And that's how it is in patrol. But one of the coolest things was when I got into a unit called Special Operations. And this is the reason why it was so cool. Because I worked in police work on patrol for about 6 years before I got into Special Operations, right? And I think I was a pretty decent officer. I got a lot of arrests. My felony numbers were really high. I wrote a lot of tickets. I was really took my time, wrote good reports. But there were a lot of other officers that would try to like dumb everything down that you did. Don't do that. Slow down. You don't need to do that. You don't need to do that on this report. And they would always try to like bring you down to their level all the time. And what they always talked about with the guys in Special Operations was they think they're better than us. They would talk about them like, oh well, they're probably doing something wrong. That's the way that they would talk. And I remember looking at these guys and I'm like, it's like a magic trick watching these guys work. Because you'd see them come in every single day with a gun. So their objective, when they weren't out hunting, say like a known criminal that they were supposed to try to find, was just get guns all day. So people that were illegally carrying guns, right? So you could work on patrol all day, every day, and never run into a gun. I probably got, before I get into Special Operations, 3 or 4 guns my whole career at that point. And you get into Special Operations and within the summer get 50 or 60 guns. And you're like, well, how is that possible? And I remember looking at these guys, and I'm like, what the hell, did they carry a metal detector in their pocket, you know, and they're like checking everybody? And there was something I realized when I got back there, was that every one of these people had certain characteristics in common, right? So one of those things was they were all coachable. They would listen to people that knew how to get guns, right? So The other people would always be like, they're doing something wrong. They're probably just violating people's rights, or they must be doing this. No, they were coachable. They listened to guys that knew what to look for, right? So I look at that in the business. I say, there's people that don't want to associate with the people that are getting the results. And instead of talking to them and find out what they did, they talk behind their backs. And you see it all the time. Oh, well, they're probably just doing this. That's the reason why they're getting the results. Well, did you ever think of just talking to them? These guys would talk in the police world about their clothes. Like, they'd be so mad. They'd be like, wear them stupid green pants. That's what they would say, because they didn't wear these green PU pants. The other thing I noticed about these guys was they had a really high work ethic. Way higher than anybody on the shift. So the shift, they'd go and answer runs, but they would, like, take a longer code, which is, take a lunch, stretch out a police run. They would take a little bit longer on a run. The guys that were in the back that were doing special operations would just be hungry all day. Bam, bam, I'm going to get a gun, I'm going to get a gun. And the crazy thing is, you wouldn't get a gun every day. You'd be the best in the city at getting guns, and not every day would you get a gun. But the next day, you'd get right back at it. And you'd plan out, well, where are the guns at? Like, where's the area that we're probably most likely to get a gun? And you would be very careful about your time. We didn't take codes. We'd bring our lunch with us. And you'd eat while you were driving around. And we were constantly looking for the guys with the guns. And you'd look in the areas where, okay, there's usually, maybe it's a group of people. I mean, look at the way that guy acts. So how are you spending your time is the other thing you got to think about. So the reason we were able to get results back there is because we were very, very careful about our time. So we were 8-hour shift, 10-hour shift, whatever. The entire shift, we're looking for guns. Sole focus looking for guns. What's your focus? You should be focused on RVPs. I'm looking for RVPs all day. Well, what does an RVP look like? An RVP is somebody that is a motivated person. You're trying to talk to people that want something better in their life, and you need to be one-track minded on that. Not like, well, things aren't going well, so you get into a parking lot and you sit there and scroll on Facebook for an hour. Anybody ever done that before? Yeah. Right? You need to be one-track minded, and you have to have the big picture, right? We would get very competitive back there. That was another thing that you always saw. You'd see guys get on a streak, 2-3 guns in a day, and you're like, son of a... And you're like, what is going on here? And it would fire you up, and you're like, we're getting one tonight, baby. We're going to get one. And you'd get one, you'd get in, you'd process the person. You're like, we got 3 hours left. We can get another one tonight. A lot of people, though, on the shift are trying to avoid things. I don't know, that might be too much paperwork. That's like people here that are like, well, I don't want to recruit up. What if they see how much of a phony I am, right? Look on the numbers that I'm not doing very well. Well, maybe you should just go out there and do better, right? It's not up to like your upline or anybody else to make you go out and do more. That call last night I thought was really good. The thing that I've just been turning in my head a lot is, when John said that he sent that to Jordan about getting RVP, and he had that on his phone, and that's his sole purpose, right? Getting to RVP is your responsibility. It's not somebody else, it's not your team that's supposed to push you up, it's you. You should do it 100% on your own, make a decision, go out and do it. Now, getting to SVP. Getting to SVP is, you have a lot to do with it, but it's not you, it's the people that are getting to RVP. Because you can't get to SVP just on your own. You need some RVPs. But you can get to RVP on your own. So if you want to get to RVP, you make a decision to do it. You stop being cynical about other people. You stop coming in here and always having a bad attitude about stuff. I can't tell you how many times on the department I would see that. These guys wouldn't even want us, if we bring it in a lockup, they'd be like trying to turn us away. Sorry, we don't have any room. It's like, that's funny, you don't have any room for us. You got room for them though. Well, they form these little cliques, right? And we do that in this business too. You see people hanging out with their people. They don't want to hang out with the people that are maybe doing a little bit better. They want to try to treat people a certain way. And those are the people you should be spending time with. You should be trying to pick their brain. Why is it that you're getting these results? Who are you talking to? If you listen to an audio that tells you, hey, this is what you should be doing, don't just listen to it, actually try doing it. It's like so funny to me. People are like, what's the secret? It's like, it's set appointments. It's a secret. Oh, mind blowing, right? Well, how do I set appointments? Well, you got to get in front of more people. Well, how do I get in front of more people? Here's an audio that shows you how to get in front of more people. Yeah, but what do I have to do though? That's like when I have people that ask me about getting in front of more people. I'm like, are you in a BNI? Well, no, there's no life insurance spots. Are you kidding me? There are life insurance spots out there. You just got to keep on trying. I think somebody the other day was talking about the life insurance spot had just gotten filled in the group, right? Well, what does that mean?
It was open.
Oh, it was open. There's life insurance guys in these spots. There was none before they got in there, right? So why is it that like the people that are really driven tend to find these spots? Is it because they were lucky? Or maybe they tried getting into a lot of groups? You think that might be the case, right? I visit a lot of BNIs, and guess what? A lot of them told me no. Even the ones that didn't have life insurance spots, because I'm a Primerica guy. So we get a bad rep in some of these places, right? Oh, well, you guys don't offer whole life? We really want somebody that can offer everything. It's like, so if I was a skincare person and I didn't offer poison, like you wouldn't want to take me because I didn't offer the poison stuff too, right? So I'm not going to let that bother me. I'm just going to know they don't have an idea, they are uneducated, and I'm going to try to find another group. So what? And if that doesn't work in the meantime, I'm going to form another group. Before I could get into a BNI, I'd pick up business cards. I'd just call them. Say, hey, I'm putting together a networking group. I'm looking to put some people in here. I don't know if you'd be interested in more referral business. Definitely. I could never get the networking group going because just like Primerica, people don't commit. They show up to one, you try to set another one, and you get all the stupid text messages last minute about how their baby's sick, grandma's dying, right? Like everybody notice that? Like their grandmas are always sick. Grandma's always in the hospital. It's like, why would you wish that on your grandma? Well, so what do? You just continue to do it until you can get some core people. Even in BNI, you get there. Luckily, maybe they have a little bit of a core group. But you know what they do? They try to invite people. They try to get people to join their thing. They try and try and try. And you're always talking about pushing up your numbers. It's the exact same thing. They want people to join the groups, but you're not out there pursuing it hard enough. When we were in the department, there were a lot of things I would think about that were like maybe even a little crazy that we would do. I can remember a time we pull up on a house party in the middle of the street, like people in the house, people pouring out into the street, and right away I spot the guy. That's the guy, for sure. The way he looks at me, the way he starts to move, I'm like, oh, there he is. And I chase him, just one-track mind, right? I get into the house, grab the guy, he's got a gun on him, he's a felon in possession, and now I'm surrounded by all these people, and they're all like, don't like the police, right? So I have to figure out what am I going to do. So I basically just hold this guy and walk my way out of the place, right? Some people on the shift would probably say like, dude, you're crazy. Why would you do that? And when I started here, I would do things that people would be like, you're crazy. Why would you do that? But that's what it takes to win. You got to be a little crazy. Like you got to do stuff that you're like, you think about, you're like, geez, I can't believe I actually did that. You know what I mean? You got to think that. When I was studying for my Series 6 in '63, I went to a class to try to learn this stuff. And when I was leaving, we had a special speaker out that Friday that was, they were going to have this thing where if you won, the next person to close got a dinner with them or whatever, right? So I'm like, I really want to win that. Now, I couldn't go to it because I had an appointment afterwards, but I still wanted to win it. And I didn't have anything set up, so I'm like, well, what the hell am I going to do between here and the appointment? Because there was like an hour in between, and I had nothing set up. So there's a security guard that's sitting down, and I'm walking, I'm like, I should talk to that guy. I get to the door, and I'm like, you know what? What do I have to lose? So I go back and I said, hey man, you probably get this all the time, but who does your life insurance? He's like, what? I'm like, who does your life insurance? He's like, I don't have any life insurance. I'm like, really? I said, I would just think because, people are in here taking these classes that somebody would have talked to you about that by now. He's like, no, nobody's ever talked to me about that. I closed the thing at the thing. He gave me his banking information and everything. Now, there was a chargeback. So let me it was a chargeback. But what my point is like, nobody would have asked that guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, nobody would have asked that guy. You gotta, I'm telling you, man, I was just like, what the hell do I have to lose? The worst thing he's gonna say is, get out of here, But most people are afraid to do that. They're like, where do you get people from? I love seeing the posts come across that they're like, Oh, I met this guy at Starbucks. You can literally just materialize this stuff, guys. You just gotta learn how to talk to people. Isn't that where you got found? Was like a Starbucks or something?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, Ian saw you in the book and he talked to you. Oh, go figure, talk to him first, right? So the other thing I noticed about the people that they all had the same characteristic was they talked to a lot of people.
Yeah.
In police work, when we were back there, you couldn't just drive around and then just be like, that's the guy with the gun. No, we needed to talk to people, we had to get information, we had to try to elicit responses. We would talk to like 50, 60, 70, 80 people in a night. You'd be pulling up, hey, how's it going, guys? What you guys up to tonight? Hey, do you got a permit for that? What are you talking about? Drive off, right? You'd talk to so many people all night just trying to figure out, is this the one? Is this the one? Is this the one? Is this the one? The guys that are on patrol, they take the main streets. They drive on the main streets, and they go to their runs. The guys in special operations would go on the back streets. They'd go in other areas where other people aren't thinking about.
Yeah.
Right? Are you trying to be very inventive? Are you trying to be original in the way that you find people? You should be thinking about it all the time, right? I think about, if I was trying to start a small business, what resources would I try to go to be able to figure this out? Because those are the people I want, right? If I was in the market to get life insurance and these sort of things, where would I be, right? So what kind of areas are you going to? Like, when I was on special ops, we wouldn't pull over some old lady in a car by herself. Wouldn't make any sense. What am I going to get? Pretty unlikely she just robbed a store, right? Now, some people might say that's profile, but I'll tell you right now, if I pull over a car with 5 people in it, a lot more likely that something's going to come of that car. A lot more likely. Well, you need to profile here. Look for rings. Look for people that are dressed kind of sharp. Look for people that are moving a little bit faster, right? Somebody that opens a door for somebody else. You should be looking for like these qualities of an RVP, right? You need to be paying attention. You need to turn that the activating system, reticular activating system on to filter for RVPs. You got to be looking for people that you want in your business. Now, do you know what an RVP looks like? There's no way to know. You know, some of these guys are weird looking. You guys see the $100,000, $200,000 things come across. You're like, wow, how did that guy do it? You know? So you don't know for sure. So don't discount the other people, right? But be looking, right? I mean, always be looking for the right people. So what does the right person look like? Well, the right person is probably within our demographic that we're looking for KT, more than likely. 25 to 55, married, employed, right? Those are the things that you're looking for. Have kids. Now, does that mean you don't recruit people that are younger? Definitely not. But don't try to spend all your time trying to recruit kids. Because guess what? They don't have the 124. They got to talk to their parents. You know? Now, does that mean you won't find them people? Definitely not. You'll find them sometimes. I mean, a genie was recruited in a basement, wearing like boots and a mohawk, right? I mean, but how many genies are there? You know what I mean? Like, you'll run into those guys, but it's because you're playing in traffic and you're talking to a lot of people. You need to be talking to a lot of them, where when you're recruiting that guy, you're not like hoping he's your guy. He's going to be so good. He's going to be so good. He's so good at talking to people, and then he doesn't show up to the next meeting. He doesn't answer a text message. I guess he wasn't going to be as good as I thought he was going to be, right? I met a guy the other day. I don't know why I think this joke is hilarious. I told it to like every single person in our meeting. So I met a guy at a thing the other day. It wasn't even a networking event, but it was a thing where business owners go to try to learn how to be business owners, basically. And I go in there like a secret agent, take my primary pin off, and I pretend like I just want to learn, and then I grab their numbers, right? Well, this dude was. I'm like, hell yeah, man, I'm gonna recruit this guy. This guy was from Egypt. He had been here for 3 years, and because of all the political stuff that's been going on, it doesn't make any sense for him to stick around with his family anymore. Well, he ran a business for like 20 years in Egypt. Now he's here, and he has, bless you, he has the business mindset. He just doesn't have the communication skills, and he doesn't have any connections. So he's trying to figure out what to do, right? So I was like, hey, this guy could be really good for 2 reasons. 1, he's ran a business before, and 2, he's from Egypt. And what do people in Egypt do? They build pyramids. didn't you? I'm like, I think I'm onto something here, baby. I'm excited about this guy.
That was a good one.
Would you rather be the bottom of the
That's right, man. I'm excited about this one. Oh, all right, well, hey. I'm just saying, if you're ever looking at our model, I don't know, man.
Does this look
I
familiar?
don't know, right? Is that...
Does this look
Hey, listen, man. I know this is probably going to come across a little bit funny, but
That's funny.
it's in their DNA, guys. I don't know what to say. But, so, the thing is, like, how are you going to recruit more directs? How are you going to get in front of more people? It's not like like some kind of secret code. You just got to get in front of more people. That's all it is. And you got to not be a wimp about it. Because there's so many times where you're going to be like, I gotta talk to this person, right? One, put yourself in a place where it's not as uncomfortable. Grab names and numbers. That's a help. You know, if you're going into like Meyer and you're trying to talk to everybody, super uncomfortable. Now, will you get names and numbers every once in a while from there? Sure. Your numbers are probably going to be very low, though, compared to what you could normally do. And a lot of times you're going to go in, you're going to be in there for 25 minutes, and you're going to walk out and be like, damn, I didn't get a name and number. There's people all around you, but it's super awkward starting a conversation with those people. It's the worst thing I've ever had to do. Like, and it's funny, I go into the Meyer over by my house, and I see the same lady in there that's in some network marketing company. And she, like, corners these people over by the meat market, and you can see how What's bizarre about this lady, she prospected me and my wife one time. I didn't let her know anything that we're doing, and I'm like, absolutely, let me get you my number. Let me grab yours too. She never called me. What? Spent all that time in there, never called me. Isn't that weird? That's how so many people do. So many people, they're out there doing all this stuff, and then they don't call the people that they get the names and numbers from. You're like basically saying, I don't want to win. Now, I'm not serious about winning. Call the people. Who knows what'll come of that? Are you crazy? You got a name and number, you get all that. Like, how uncomfortable was that cornering that person over by the bacon? You know, like, how are you guys doing? You look awfully sharp. Right, you guys look sharp, and they're like, who are you? I'd see her, she'd talk to him for like 30 minutes. She needs to brush up on her skills. Because you'd see her, and you're like, she's at it again. You'd walk away, you'd come back, she's still talking to him. People are just sitting there like, we really need to get home, right? If this lady's getting names and numbers, how the hell is like everybody not getting names and numbers? We have a system here that teaches you how to maybe do it in a little bit better fashion. You're getting in front of the right people, right? So if I'm trying to arrest a person, I'm trying to find a person that has a gun, I'm trying to find a person that's doing something they're not supposed to be doing, I'm probably not looking in the police station itself, right? Stick around, hang out at the office all day. Maybe they'll come in here. No, they're out there doing dirt out there. Just like the people that you're looking for are out there. I mean, come on, guys. It's just it's not that complicated. You just got to go do the work. That's the only thing. You got to go do the work. Get around people that do the work. Find out what they're doing, how they're getting the names and numbers. I'd be talking to Shane and Mel. I'd be like, geez, you guys are 50-something on the docks. What are you doing differently? Probably your guys are talking to people, right? I'm just guessing. All right, I didn't have a crystal ball, but I'm guessing you're talking to people. You're getting names and numbers and you're calling people, right? Are these all people that you knew before?
Oh.
Huh? Oh, none of them are? But you don't have a market, though. I don't understand. How can you do this? Doesn't make any sense. Oh, you talk to people. That's right. How did I get the Egyptian? Talk to him. Right? Is he in lawn care? No, I works at Meyer, actually.
The Egyptian.
The Egyptian, right?
I got another one for you if you want to keep this going.
Well, you kind of want to hear it, but let's instead.
No better joke than Johnny.
No, I'm saying I'll give you a referral.
Oh, a referral to an
Yeah.
Egyptian. I
Yeah,
like
just,
that.
yeah, keep it
We
going.
need a Chinese guy walk into a bar. Okay.
Oh, no, we don't need to go there. We got an Indian.
Married to a
two-
Chinese.
Oh, yeah, all right. All right, anyways, hopefully you guys got something from this. Without further ado, John Cooper.
Walks like an Egyptian.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.